Do the what?
Just
Just
make it clap.
go. Just go.
Just make it clap.
Just make it clap.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to another episode of HBCU podcast. The show. Anything you want it to be. With your host, Hashim the Dream. You already know what it is. And my co-host.
The rising good people, Bobby K here, and our honorary host, editor, our third man on the scene.
Those first 10 seconds on the recording is gonna be saved, just to let y'all know. Wally not well. Let's go.
I don't know what he's talking about,
Yeah,
but
that's
Yeah,
weird.
it's all right.
it's
It's okay. I
crazy.
know.
Crazy, bro.
Yeah,
Crazy.
crazy.
But
Yeah.
we got a nice little semi-quick, semi-brief topic, but something that's, kind of trendy. Hashim, if you want to, introduce it.
All right, so with this, there's also been stuff trending on social media, but in this type of environment, that's the word that they use. Would you be, as a guy, would you be dating if you were broke?
Wait,
And I
this is
say as
only
a,
this is only for us, like guys to answer?
I say guy. Well, I start off as a guy because we're guys, and that's perspective. And dating for women, I believe, is different money wise. First
What's the
And
dates,
difference?
women are not paying for first dates. And it's
okay,
not guaranteed you get past the first date. So that's guys going on multiple first dates and they're paying for multiple first dates. And this is why I say for guys.
okay, fair
Proceed.
enough, fair enough. So the question is, if you're broke, so define broke.
Broke doesn't have to be like you ain't got no money, you don't got
Mhm.
no house. You could live fine. Broke is like you using your money for the essential stuff, rent or whatever, food, but you don't have the extra money to be going out spending on dates or extra stuff. Like you have the
You got it
essentials
back.
and
You
huh?
just got it back. You got it back. Word for word.
Yeah,
Here you go.
yeah. Got that photographic memory, you feel me?
I don't know about all that.
Yeah.
So I feel like with this, because I hear a girl say that like you shouldn't date if you're broke. I feel like more of the issue is dating if you're cheap rather than broke, because a date can be anything you make it out to be. Like, let's be honest, what's a date? A date is essentially two people who are doing something with each other to get to know each other better. It could be over food, it can be an activity, whatever the case may be. But that's essentially all a date is. Is like we sensationalize dating to be something that is so extravagant and oh, it has to sweep them off their feet and it has to be rose petals. It don't have to be all that shit. It really don't. A walk in the park and going to a museum, that's a date. Going to eat at a little mom and pop restaurant, that's a date. It's whatever you make it out to be.
Yeah.
It's simply
But
more so
Right. But
about
so
should,
but
but should you date if you're broke though? Should because
from
Hashim
your
go. Go ahead.
perspective. I was gonna say, like those from my perspective, I wouldn't or I didn't. Just cause like if I have money to spend other ways, other places, that's essential, yeah. As well as I don't want to be miserable or tight when they order food and don't finish the food. Um, and you regardless, and you don't want to be a douchebag or don't want to be a gentleman will pay for the first date if you're courting the lady, right? And but you heard that little accent? Yeah, yeah, no, not timing,
that
timing.
accent was horrible, terrible.
Proceed.
Don't mind,
Proceed.
don't mind. I've been watching Bridgerton. Um, but yeah, I don't. You saying you go on a museum, which is like, yeah, that'd be very cheap, but the time and money you have to drive, you probably drive to pick her up half the time. You're paying for two meals, not one. And then if they want dessert, you're paying for two desserts because you can't not just get dessert. You know what I mean?
So
That'd be weird.
so are you one of the people that feel like guys should always pay for the first date fully, no matter what?
I think so, unless they're wilding. Like if they like, yo, let me get the tomahawk steak, let me get the whole bottle. What's your most expensive? Then at the end of the night, I order my normal meal and we're splitting.
Breaking news! An Atlanta TikToker went on a first date for drinks at Fontaine's Oyster House and went a little overboard with the dozen oysters for $15 deal. Eating 4 platters worth, that's 48 oysters, plus 2 crab cakes.
Because I've been on a couple dates, and I remember one of them, I spent a decent amount. I'm not going to say amounts, but I spent a decent amount for both, and like different first dates with people. And I never heard from them again, basically, afterwards. So I think that's a dangerous slope because you could be dealing with people that could be using you for just food, or it just could be whatever the case may be. We don't know people's agendas. But
this is why, as the guy, you're expected to plan the date. So you essentially choose where you're going.
Of course.
So if you pick a high-end restaurant,
you also have to do something within the interest of her. Like if you guys have similarities and interests, you want to do something that she's going to be engaged with as well. So that's why I say I don't think the broke part is the problem per se. I think the cheap part. If you can only have $50 to your name, but if you're willing to spend those $50 and make it useful and purposeful, that's your decision. I'm not saying
Bobby, that's irresponsible.
I'm not saying it's smart. I'm just saying that's your decision to make. Compared to if you have that same $50 and you're only willing to spend 10 of them bitches, that's a different story. You see what I'm saying? So again, I don't think the broke part is the problem. I think more so is, are you being creative with how you're trying to court this person? Who, by the way, they technically should be courting you too, in a sense of like they're trying to impress you as well. It's not just you trying to get her attention. Like it's a two-way street. But I'll keep going. Clay, what's your initial thoughts?
All right. So I got a couple things to say about Bobby's entire scenario. On one hand, depending on who you are as a person, if you are one to go on these inexpensive dates, like go a walk in the park or get some ice cream and talk, coffee, whatever the third, you can do that even if you're broke, quote unquote. But if you're one who has the idea to do that whole courtship, taking them out to dinner, paint all this extravagant shit, maybe an activity like bowling or something, and you have to pay, then you should not. You should know the type of dater you are and navigate that way. If you know that you're broke and it's gonna hurt your pockets, you need to find someone who's willing to go that inexpensive route, and that could be a sign they're a genuine ass person and they like you. And on the other hand, if it's the same thing, like if you find out that this person's pricey, they not in your range, bro. Like if they go for another date and you bring up an inexpensive kind of date and they're like, yes, okay, sure, go for it. Otherwise, yeah, you gotta really choose what kind of dater you want to be. I would say don't be broke, to preferably, because depending on how much you like someone, you're gonna want to really show them that you like them and impress them. But inexpensive dates are not bad too. If you want to just get to know a person and not in front of the whole pretenses of like, oh, I got money, all the fancy stuff, then go for it.
Well, my not my problem, but here's the situation, right? It's not only the first date, because say you hit it all, you're gonna go on multiple dates, right? Say you get paid every other week, and mind you, you broke, right? Not you, but you broke, right? So you get paid every other week, and you go on one date. It's like, oh, that's so good. Let's go on another in a couple of days. Oh, this was really good. Let's go on another end of the weekend, bro. You ain't even got your paycheck yet. You already went on 3 dates. You're cooked. I don't care how creative you are.
Well, realistically, you should be planning dates on like once a week, more so basis. Like
it's all on vibes, bro. There's no set standard.
I didn't say it was vibe. Listen, you can vibe and be vibing all you want, but realistically, when you're dating, especially when you're younger, you're seeing the person on the weekends because you guys are theoretically working during the week. So you're seeing that person once a week. So in that time frame, you should be able to, get the funds or get whatever you need to do and figure out, planning wise, how you want to approach taking this person out and showing them a good time to show them that, hey, I'm really trying to get to know you.
Well,
compared to doing every 2-3 days.
you forget that not every profession got weekends off. They could have
That's
Monday
true.
and Thursday off. And then you line up your stuff Monday and Thursday. All right, that's 2 days. I could work with that. I'll go to sleep late. Blah blah blah, blase blase. But I like the creativity idea because if you broke, you gotta get creative, right? No, I'm just kidding. Regardless, you should be creative because that's always a plus,
We've
and that
all
means
been there.
that means you're thoughtful, right?
Yeah.
What do you mean we all been there? I ain't never been broke in my life.
Oh, you capping. You capping.
Yeah,
Everyone's
if you
were
go
listen,
if you
broke
go to
as
everyone has
college, you
been
got to be
you were
broke.
broke as a
everyone
teenager, you were broke as a kid, you were broke as a toddler, right?
thank
You were
you.
No,
broke at
Thank
no,
some
you.
no,
point.
no, no, no. I had people paying for me as a toddler. I had people paying for me
But
as a
you
Who was
teen.
paying for
yourself,
you
you
in
were
I
high school?
broke. You
looking
yourself
back,
were
I
broke. You were
don't know. I
dependent.
don't no. Looking back, I don't know how I survived summer because I had no money. What was I doing? I was on my
Vibes.
bike playing basketball. Free,
Yup. Getting
free.
cooked by me.
Chill.
Getting cooked by me. Exactly. But it's okay though. Listen, the point. So, Wale, what did you have an issue with something that I said per se? Because you looked a little off when I was saying my initial points.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the problem is being broke or cheap. It's the question is should you date if you're broke? And there are certain circumstances where it's a yes and no. Generally, I would say no, so you can always be ready for your essentials, like Hashim said. Because even if an inexpensive date, you gotta that could be time that you I don't know get some extra money, or if it's something little like a coffee or ice cream, that's still some money. Depends how broke you are, but still, it could be more money saved in your pocket, so you're not broke.
That's the thing right there. There's
So
levels of
Broke.
brokenness. Like broke for one person could be I only got like maybe $100 to use for this day or whatever. I gotta try to, make it creative and something nice, but nothing too crazy. And another person broke could be $15. So there's also layers to that as well. One, two, then we're having the discussion about okay, are you dating for the purpose of actually getting to know the person and trying to like see where it goes, or
Yeah,
are you dating in terms of just like because you're bored
experience.
essentially? Yeah, for like superficial reasons, because then that determines then if you should date if you're broke or not, but depending on
But
what your mentality is with dating itself.
so I would want to switch the perspective. So what would you think the answer would be if you're a woman or a girl dating? Should they date if they're broke?
Should women date if they're broke?
Yeah,
I feel like a lot. Let me not say a lot. I think
it's a
some
lot.
women, I think certain women probably do date when they don't have that much in terms of like financially to contribute to the dates because they already understand. It's like a social um understanding, like Hashim, like you said earlier, that guys are supposed to pay for the dates, guys are supposed to plan the dates, guys are the ones who, if you drive, you're the one who have to go pick her up. You're orchestrating these meetups, so to speak, for the most part. For the most part.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the case, then whether she has money or not, she don't really got to use much of it, at least for the initial dates. Now, if you guys start going on more dates and she decides to, oh, I got this, I got the dinner, or I got the movie, boom, 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 then that's beautiful. My first date with my girl, she paid for the food. She offered to. She offered to, but that's what I'm saying. She offered to. I was ready, fully prepared to pay. It was for brunch.
Mike was
She
celebrating his
offered it.
head. Yeah.
It's
A surreal feeling. We did it. We did it! Oh my God.
listen. I knew she was the one then.
I told him exactly to keep that. Once he told me, I was like, "Yo, keep that."
I knew she was the one right there. I was like, what? You got it, Chief. But that's what I'm saying though. Like, that's when I say I don't think you have to not be broke because it's all about the person that you're dating and determining how you approach it. Wale?
It's like a teacher in class. Wale.
So, I would say if you're not for women, if they're more likely not gonna pay for dates and all that, at least for the most part, what they do is make sure they're all gussied up properly, you know. And we all know the whole pedicure, hair done, all that shit is money for based on the girl for the most part. So if you're gonna come up to a date busted because you broke, I don't know. I don't know about that.
What's busted?
I don't think they would ever because they like Bobby said, they're also trying to
I
impress
would hope.
you as
I
well.
would hope
You
they are
know.
really trying to impress because more and more I've heard there's girls out here saying, "Oh, you gonna take me how I am," blah blah blah. This that and third. I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
But
Step
see,
up.
that's the thing. Why? So that's why I'm confused because it's like some women would say that, oh, take me as I am in terms of my appearance. Like maybe they don't want to wear makeup or they don't want to get all dressy or whatever, which is fine.
That's
But
fine.
then it's never take me as I am for guys when it comes to not having that much money for the time in terms of dating. So then
I
I'm
think it depends
you
on
basically so
at that
wait,
point. At that point,
okay.
I would say for the women especially, like, why are you broke? That's the first question. If it's because you are sustaining a lifestyle, you know, like a regular lifestyle, like rent or whatever, okay, you can. It shows you some level of responsibility. Times are rough, you know. I would think even nurses have to worry about their loans, rent, a whole bunch of stuff, and they still somehow end up broke. But that's because they're responsible. Now, if you're broke because your ass is on the streets and doing stupid shit, then no, you should not be. You should not be dating. No,
What
hell,
what what if they're broke because say they make like 500K, but they spend for just give them a little salary. That's all you think
Mhm.
about it. They say they make 500K, but they spend like 475 all the
on.
time. So they live a lavish lifestyle. They have a lifestyle that they're trying to maintain, and that's
So
why
you
they're
so
broke.
you so you live a lavish lifestyle to the point that you can make $500,000 yearly salary, but can't pay for dinner and a movie
You should not
or
be dating. No,
like what? So
no.
niggas who are broke.
Well, I
No, wait, time out. So niggas who are broke will get the worst stigmas towards them that they're not even allowed to date. You can't even try to find love, find a partner, none of that shit, nigga. Be
well,
single,
I
be alone.
I I
But then
I
do a money can do that?
I don't think they would this would be considered broke. It's just being financially irresponsible. Nobody
If you're
you
financially
can't you
responsible,
No, no,
man or
no.
you
woman, you should not
but
be dating.
yes, but you can't say somebody that's making 500K that you're broke to their face.
No,
I
no. You misunderstood what I
can't.
said. No. You misunderstood what I said. What I was saying was, how is it that someone who is considered broke,
Yeah,
right, in one corner, and they're told you are not allowed to date because you're not allowed to find love. You're not allowed to do this, that, and the third because you do not have enough finances for it. But then a
yeah.
motherfucker who does have money but is spending it recklessly as hell or don't want to spend it on you can still get away with it because of their image and lifestyle. That doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense.
I feel like it all comes down to how you got to that point. Like if you're trying or not, if you're if if something happened and that results in what you're losing your job or you're not, you know, some if there's certain circumstances that happen. But as for the woman aspect, I don't think they really need to um be living lavish or be rich. If they're broke, at least have enough money to pay for yourself for the date. Because, like I said, if they wilding out, they better have that money to pay for themselves. Because it's a high chance that guy's gonna be like, "Hey, step check. Thank you very much." He ordered five hundred
So
dollars worth of food.
so what about if it's a thing because like it's not always black and white. It could be nuanced to it. So what if you guys go out to a steakhouse, for example, right? And it's a first date, you're trying to get to know each other,
Yeah,
and you are offering to pay, it's a heavy price. It's a heavy
yeah,
price.
yeah.
And you're like, okay, I'll pay for like I'll put the date on my card. Can you just send me a little bit just to contribute? Is that wrong, or is that considered broke for doing that,
Nope.
or is that just you wanting to have this person who's also courting you trying to contribute to the date as well?
You
It's
got
not a sign
some.
of you being broke.
Huh?
It's not a sign of you being broke.
I don't think it's a sign of you being broke. I just think, as for me, I was going into especially first dates, as expecting me to pay the entire check
Right.
bill. but I'm also not going to a steakhouse for a first date
Right.
where I
Wait,
know
say
it's gonna
again?
be. I said, me personally, I always go if I was to be dating, I would go into the first date expecting to pay for the whole date, right? Just like
Okay.
how I say the woman should expect to at least have the money to pay for herself in case something does happen. Like the person could be a weirdo, or otherwise, I'll like, be expecting to pay for the entire date for both of us. But I'm also not taking you to a steakhouse where I know it's gonna be expensive or out of my pay range at that time. You know?
Okay, of course, but I'm just saying I'm just using that as an example in terms of like what is like is it ever an acceptable scenario
I'll
where the guy doesn't have to pay for the entire date?
I don't think it's considered broke. You're just gonna get called broke.
Which is that's crazy to me. That's a wild ass
And you know what?
generalization.
And you know what? Then
And
that's just say bye bye to
that,
that person. You don't need to date
well,
them again.
I was about to say it depends if that person's mature or understanding. Like if the bill comes up to like $400, I'm putting imaginary numbers up, and
Mhm.
you say, "Yeah, can you just pay? I'll pay it, but can you just give me like 50 or something?" I feel like that's pretty reasonable. Like I don't think that's out of this
Pay for
world.
tip, at least.
Yeah, but that's why yeah. But that's why I say it depends on if the person's mature and or rational.
Okay,
All
Because
right,
so
we
I
can
I'm
think
gonna rip
that's
this bandit off. I'm gonna rip
okay.
this bandit off before we because I know we tried to make it a short one. All right, because Bobby was like, "Oh, can we just make it?" All right, this is a response to that video of someone talking about a salary range. So, should you date if you make 550K a year? What do y'all think?
That's
yeah.
that's not
Why? Yeah.
that's not a low amount at all. Like I
Yeah.
don't
That's
All
that's
right,
that's the average
I
of
don't
okay.
think
US.
people understand how much 50,000 is a year. Like that's not
Okay.
bad money at all. The
Yeah, I
idea that
think
you
you
can't
should.
date, like that's such an
But,
arbitrary, just
but
random ass number that certain people just make up because oh this just sounds low. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
You can live
it's
off of maybe not New York, but
it's the average in the US. And I will
yes.
also say you could date at any salary
All
because
right, that's all I
being
was
broke
asking for.
is a
Mm-hmm.
perspective. Like if
Mm-hmm.
I'm making $100 and that person next to me is making what $90, I'm calling them broke. You making less money than me. Elon Musk is calling me broke.
I
Not broke,
mean,
but
I
you
mean
might.
that bozo's calling a lot of people broke, but I feel you though.
I know, but I'm saying it's all perspective. If you and the person that you're going after pursuing is making both making $100, then you're gonna be fine.
So it
As
sounds like
long,
you're saying you can date even if you don't have great financial means.
yeah, just know that you shouldn't be. From my opinion, I don't think you should be going after somebody that has a lifestyle that is out of your um
Price
that
range,
doesn't align
salary
with you. Yeah, that doesn't align with you. If they like, and because they're gonna have the expectations more than likely that you're gonna live up to what they're doing. You know,
If you are someone who has the financial means to
hopefully.
fund a woman who is expecting someone of that nature, by all means, splurge, do your thing. If you willing to do that and you like her enough and you trying to really make an impression, do your thing. But if she is out of that price range, and I hate saying it like that because it sounds very gold.
salary range, income range,
Yeah,
financial range.
in expectation range, then that's not the one for you. And you should, like Hashim said, find someone that is more willing to be in a more independent basis. So then, even if you do pay for them, they're not always expecting you to all the time. So, one last thing before we wrap up, because I think so. You guys mentioned like the girl where she's like, I don't want to say bring it to the table because that's such a stupid trope, but um, what do you guys think about the like expectation that some guys have when going on initial dates with women of
What's
if
that?
I'm paying for the date, then I need to be expecting
To
some
beat
booty,
their duties
pretty
down?
much. Yeah.
So
Like,
wait,
oh,
so
she's
what?
dressing up, she's dressing a certain way for the date. You know what I'm saying? You're paying for it, and you know what I'm saying. I'm expecting to get some cheeks or something after it.
That's
Expecting
that's
to get some type of physical reimbursement. What do y'all feel about
I
that?
Hashim
I
first.
think I think that's entirely on the guy because you shouldn't have those type of expectations, especially for a first date. It's just like the girl shouldn't have the expectation that the guy's gonna pay for the first date.
So the expectation, you don't think you think the expectations on both sides of that spectrum is wrong, is off.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Because it's not guaranteed. You can't. I say it because both sides, for certain people, they'll get mad if what they expected doesn't happen, and what they expected isn't guaranteed to happen. So
Mm-hmm.
why are you expecting that?
Okay. That's
Wally?
Say you setting yourself up for failure. You don't even know the person that you're going on a date with, and it's just okay. You decide to do all those things. So if you don't get nothing and you mad about it, that's your fault. You're not entitled to all that. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Just stay with stay in the present, feel the person out, and hopefully it turns out good. Don't expect nothing. Just be yourself. And if being yourself means you're expecting some physical gain, you need to go to a church or something and pray on it, my dude.
I think
That's
that's a young person's mentality, honestly, because I think it's more so younger guys who be thinking like, oh well, if I pay for the date, then I should be getting some. You know what I'm saying?
not
But
you don't
I,
even deserve a kiss at that point. Again, it's all on how the date is. Like
exactly.
forget what you said, Bobby. That's not even a kiss. That's it. Not even a hug, to be honest. It's all about how the date goes.
I mean, you should get a hug if y'all want to go out on a date with each other. You should get a hug.
It depends if the dude's not an asshole or something.
Oh, I mean, of course. I'm saying initially when y'all initially like meet for the date. You know what I mean? A hug
Sure.
is
Yeah,
regular.
you're not gonna straight up kiss if you're just
Yeah,
meeting
no,
for a
no,
date.
that's
No, no,
yeah,
no,
that's
no,
wild.
no,
Yeah,
no,
no, that's
no.
wild. That's wild. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I've never understood that mindset. Like, she don't owe you no type of ass or anything just because you took her out on a date or paid for it. Like, that's still her body and her decision and autonomy at the end of the day. Just like Hashim said, you as a woman should not be expecting a guy. You should not be expecting the guy to be paying for you fully because you just meeting him. You guys are strangers. Y'all don't owe each other nothing. Y'all are not in a relationship. Y'all are not tied to each other in any form. Y'all could literally stop talking to each other tomorrow.
And your ass could have a boring ass personality, can't hold a conversation because there ain't nothing worse than a woman that can't hold a conversation.
Or guys too.
What
Or guys
person? Yeah.
who think, oh, holding a conversation is you flirting the whole time. Nah, champ. You
Yeah.
gotta actually talk. Have something of substance.
I'm mainly on the part where you said about women expecting guys to pay, like, because you can
Oh,
look all beautiful and shit, and you can have a nice body, this, that, and third. But if you can't hold a conversation, like it, and you all about your phone, taking pictures and shit, that or all that, then no dude, no real sensible dude with self respect is gonna want to pay for you. They're gonna say, "Oh, check please, separate, thank you." I can at least I can pay for my own shit. At least you pay for yours? All right.
She's gonna be like, of course I can, because I'm not broke.
Bet. Congrats. I can pay my own too because I'm not broke. No one's washing dishes here. Sorry. But I wonder how
Nothing
you
wrong
getting
with that.
home though. Uber.
I mean, but
that
that's
is
this.
crazy. You gonna leave her at the restaurant, bro? Damn. At
Apparently
least
I'm
take her
broke.
home.
I don't got gas money to take her home because I'm broke. Apparently.
Crazy.
Oh, now Wale is he a different level of petty. So
I'm not saying I
don't
do
go.
that shit.
Listen, if he takes you on the date, if he drives you, make sure you
Uber
don't
ready.
take yourself out of getting a ride back. Have that Uber
Make sure,
app ready.
make sure you be checking the Uber prices. Make sure you get the
Yes.
best time to leave.
Get the
Yes,
Uber
sir.
X, get the share. You know what I'm saying? Make
Yep.
sure you get back home safe.
You
Because
could
that
get what they have the walking buddy too.
on God. Tag
Nah,
City.
first,
If it's
wait,
in the
Bobby,
city,
you
tag
must Wow, you got confused. I'm not gonna leave them stranded there. Again, unless they are an asshole, though. It all depends on someone's character. If you're acting really entitled, really, really damn entitled, like as if I'm your personal assistant, we'll see who's assisting you getting home. But if it's a matter of, oh, the date is not, is just whatever, or it's like, oh, well, not feeling it. It was a nice day, a nice experience. I'd still take you home.
So would
No hard
you,
feelings.
if you guys are on the first date, right, and the
Mm-hmm.
date is not going well, or you're not vibing with the person,
I'll
you,
still take
you
her
know
home.
yourself. Are you still paying fully for the date?
Oh,
I'll still pay as long as long as they're not being like super crazy. If it's just not like we're not
connecting, yeah. If it's like
connecting,
cool, like,
I'll still pay. Just there just won't be another one.
yeah.
Even
If
if
it's just
it's like
cool,
a little pricey.
I mean, what's the
depends what you
definition
bring
of
them.
Yeah, it's all perspective. I'll still pay because I expected to pay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not going on another one because that's a waste of time and money. And obviously, we don't like. From my perspective, we don't mesh. So
For the first date, I'm going back to Hashim said. I'm gonna go on a date too, expecting to pay. My first date is not gonna be a steakhouse.
I just said a steakhouse. They don't have. I don't think that should be the first date either. But
sure.
If the first date, because I chose it or we decided, and I decided, okay, this all this was in my range. Like between two people, yeah, I could definitely pay for us both. Fine, bet, cool. Not a steakhouse, so.
Oh, Mickey D's.
make sure you check
You
that
saw
menu.
it. Pause. No, this man said Mickey D's.
Yeah, I know.
Uh,
He
you can order
make Happy
anything
Meal.
on the menu.
Wow, wow. Make
Yeah,
Happy
living
Meal.
lavish.
Wow. And that, ladies, that is a type of person you should not go on a date with. But
You go to Arby's.
that's, you know what? I ain't even gonna go there.
They
So
have the meats
Can you just end it, please?
for sandwiches.
Can you end it, please?
on that note, thank you guys for watching. Please comment below your thoughts on if a man or woman should date if they're broke. Have you dated while being broke? Let us know.
Call this number.
Call this hotline.
Yo.
555. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on IG, HBCU3. Follow us on TikTok, the HBCU Podcast.
Arby's.
On that note, we see y'all next time. We out of here.